as well. You're seeing how effective they can be, but Playing Ducks still come out in game number 1 and shut them down. Let's get ready for our second game here. The battleground will be Towers of Doom, the choice going to the Playing Ducks.
It's traditionally a map that they really like to play. Expert, on the other hand, also loves to play on towers. In general, it's a very popular map in Europe right now. I think the Ducks were one of the first teams that consistently pulled out towers and made their plays there, not only during Phase 2, but also at especially the second part of Phase 1. So right now is another one of... we could see a couple of really cool picks, because the Ducks like to be super aggressive here, and Expert are always good for a bit of a weird pick here that just allows them to maybe push a bit harder. If at some point in the past, I mean, a while ago, played Asmodan on this map too, just with that thought process, as long as we get the pressure on one lane, our foreman can do more. So they are always willing to just throw a bit of a different twist into it. And at this point, I mean, they have to come up with something, because that's not quite the start that they envisioned. They've been saying how this is... They expected a 3-0 if everything goes right and according to plan, but that hasn't really been the case yet. They know how it feels to lose against one of the lower standing teams, as they lost against TGG, and a repetition against the Ducks would definitely be pretty bad.
It would be pretty bad for them here. So let's see if Team Expert will be able to pull out the different strategies that we've seen. We've seen them run Vikings in the past. I know we keep bringing it up, but they had a Balog strap. We've seen them use Illidan and just let him push completely on the top lane. One of the great things you can do on Towers of Doom is have your top laner be in a spot where he does get that authentic 1v1, as you get that 4-mana, set that bottom lane as much as you can, work on the mercenary camps, control the fight as well as you can, and then you allow Thorough just to go completely aggressive. And in the past, he's done a good job with Illidan. He shut down Bell Towers, opened up the top lane of the battleground, which eventually leads to a really strong late game. So those options are available here for Team Expert.
For me, it's going to be quite fun to see what happens with Medivh throughout the series.
Yeah.
Since it's always a very, very early ban against Team Expert overall. But now you have the Playing Ducks in play, where Sportbilly has shown such great Medivh play throughout this entire year that it just feels... We're going to see both teams fight over him a little bit, maybe have him even higher prioritized as a potential pick, or then still as one of those early bans, because both teams have great Medivh players, and we've seen the impact that Medivh can have in the last game.
I mean, I would expect going into game number 4, game number 5, that we do see him in the first couple of slot pickups right away, as we continue to watch the within best of 5 meta game evolve between these two teams. So we'll continue to watch that.
Just say that the Ducks are not good enough to win this 3-0?
Oh, I mean... I just assumed, you know, game 4, game number 5. Why do you gotta take my like positives and completely just throw them upside down? Like I could be like,
it's really fun to see your reaction afterwards. It always throws you off your game so fast.
I could literally be like, pudding is yummy, but yeah, but the container pollutes the earth, and it's like, why you gotta be like that?
That's not the same. That's completely different.
No, it's the same. It's a stretch, but it's the same. Here we go. Towers of Doom, Team Expert with the first ban. Let's see what they're going to try and take away from their opponents.
I just think the Ducks are better than you think.
I think they're very good, and I think they do great. Keep it up, Ducks.
They're yummy.
Team Expert. Will they ban Tyrande here? If you do ban Tyrande, this might be the battleground to do so. No.
The Tyrande ban on the last map is still something where I still just feel that we're missing some information that they have.
Yeah.
Because that ban was a bit on the outside. It wasn't really what I expected in the slightest. This is way more normal. Banning out ETC super early, Abathur gets banned as a counter ban. That makes a whole lot more sense to me. And now we have again Tacita taken super early for them. So the last time they went into the Illidan composition with a double support, now they already prepare for double support again. I think on this map it's a bit more likely that we're going to see Tracer being picked. Expert has loved to play Tracer here. And yeah, let's see how the Ducks are reacting to it. Are we going to see Medivh again?
I feel like it with being the Ducks, we're going to get that Vala early, no matter what. They seem to really enjoy having that Vala being available for them. They've also played some Li Ming, some Tychus in the past. Those are usually some pretty standard heroes that you get from them. I
mean, you have to consider the Haka at this point. It's again the question about the top lane and how do you use, or do you use a global. Then with Illidan making an appearance, you can still play him with a hunt, you don't have to. But think about the global heroes, what you want to play there. Eternal might try and go into something else, but globals are always a big, big issue. So that has to be concerned. But they go into their Vala and Rega combo once again, so they have that. It was actually interesting to me that we didn't even see the Haka in the last game. It was neither picked nor banned, so that was a bit crazy considering that for the macro-heavy European scene, he is usually a huge staple in one of the early phases.
Team Expert. Now I'll be worrying about the second and third pick. If we were to see the Dahaka, I would imagine we would get it now. I don't think he makes it through the next ban phase. However, your point does still stand. Game number 1, we didn't have Dahaka through the picks, but I think this Battleground is one of those that you just kind of have to move into it. So we'll see what Team Expert wants to do. If not, there are other options. If they leave the Dahaka up, I think that opens up a world where Team Expert will move into the Illidan once again. We've watched it to shut down Dahakas in those top lanes, push them in as much as they can, and break down those bell towers. We alluded to it before moving in to the draft.
Yeah, the battle between Illidan and Dahaka that we oftentimes see is something where especially Korea has a bit of a different take. Rich has been talking about how he doesn't even understand why Dahaka is that highly prioritized in Europe, since he feels that Illidan does all of this better. Since then, of course, things have changed a little bit since the cooldown on the hunt was increased by that much. But now, as expected, Tracer is taken, so we actually have Tracer with the Tassadar comp. Nick is gonna be running the hero, and we have Leoric taken. So already shutting all of the Dahaka talk, at least for now, on their side off, and it's gonna be Leo up at the top lane, and also potentially later on trying to get the double soak between 2 lanes, thanks to Royal Focus and Lingering Apparition.
Leo, we've been seeing less and less of him, but still one that when he gets picked up, you see that build that was just talked about, Kaldor, very, very powerful. And this is the Leo that has not been adjusted yet. We will get to see the new Leo, I believe, next week in the HGC, as well as possibly Kel'Thuzad too. But this is the old version of Leo, where you're able to get that wave clear, push up a lot on the side.
Yeah, good old Leo. Oh, Garrosh.
Garrosh ban.
Garrosh is on this map actually like so annoying. If he positions himself well behind an altar, especially at the top 2, and someone tries to move in, simply interrupt, he simply throws you over into the towers. It just always feels bad when that happens. So Garrosh can be extremely annoying here. And apparently the Ducks agree with that and ban him out right away. I'm basically just looking at this like, okay, who's the most annoying hero possibly here?
Yeah, interesting to see the Garrosh with the Leo pick already. I wonder, I guess Garrosh getting the pick into a Tracer, just burning them down, would be really quick actually, so that's a cool possible comp that I actually want to watch a little bit. I want to watch Garrosh and the Tracer killing. That sounds fun.
I mean, Garrosh still has he won a single game actually yet?
In EU?
I don't think he has won a single map yet.
He has not won
yet. In
yet.
NA, he's a lot more powerful right now and a lot more successful. Ban on Illidan by Team Expert, a bit worried about the Ducks going into an Illidan composition with this. And for the Ducks, again, question stands. Are we going to see Medivh against someone like Tracer? It's super strong. You can just simply get... It's not only about the rotations and about you trying to set up your own portals, but if you can just simply get the Absorb in and the shield against any kind of Tracer ult, that's already amazing. So I would not mind at all to see another Medivh play by them, especially since it's very unlikely that Team Expert would be even looking into Medivh. First of all, they have Tassadar already. And yeah, I think Medivh as a last pick is again a high possibility. They know Expert is not going to take Medivh here.
Wait, am I being trolled? Is there a Chromie over there?
Sorry?
There was a Chromie on the back right while they got that shot. I think Josh is trolling me. Alright, I just want to wait to Azeratul. We're good. We're good. We're good. Anywho.
Are you seeing random Chromies again?
No. There was a shot. You missed it. It's okay. You were doing...
I'm not quite...
I'm not seeing random Chromies.
I didn't see it.
Playing Ducks actually have the exact composition we saw from them on game number 1 when it came to Dragonshire. They might move into the Medivh for the 5th pick. We'll see here. Team Expert will now reveal their hand.
I would be shocked if they don't go into Medivh. I think Medivh fits absolutely perfectly, unless Expert now has something crazy coming up. But Expert can't go into Medivh because they need a main healer and they need another tank. So also ADRD usually plays Tassadar for them. So yeah, for the Ducks, Medivh would be fantastic here. Unless... No, they're not going to do that. Okay, so Stitches and Uther going into Stitches comp. Now I want to see even... The one hero that I was actually for one moment thinking if the Ducks might pull that off was going Crazy Town, Zeratul. Since they have played stuff with him in the past, and I was thinking, okay, maybe with the bubble they can do something. But then when Stitches came into play, I like Medivh even more. Yeah. Since when he gets a hook in, you can always try and set that portal up so that you save the target or that the rest from the team can go in and you engage with them. So yeah, after the Stitches pick, I think you force them even more into the Medivh corner.
Well, the exact same composition here for the playing Ducks that they played on Dragonshire. They pulled it off well. If it's not broken, why fix it here? There is a little bit different elements now as we have Leo in the game, so double soaking will definitely be an issue that they have to deal with, but they should be just fine there. Sonya can match kind of okay and keep up with the pressure, so they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, I like the draft a lot. It fits their style. Every single player is on a hero that he's very comfortable with. I love that they get Sport Billy for the second time on Medivh. And if they win, if they take the 2-0 lead here, then I think Expert is either going to ban Medivh or they're going to start taking him away, exactly, depending on first pick, second pick.
I'm excited to watch the volatile matchup here between the Tracer and, of course, the Medivh. Usually want to hold on to that Force of Will, make sure to stop the big moment, that Pulse Bomb. Let's go ahead and hop into Towers of Doom here. Tracer versus Medivh. Team Expert versus the Playing Ducks. Let's see who gets a win here on Towers of Doom.
Game number 2, the lead for the Ducks with Wolf Joe on Rhaegar. We're looking at Nanda again on Johanna. The exact same draft for the Playing Ducks. Sport Billy is on Medivh. We see Chris on Vala. And of course, for the solo lane, Eternal on Sonya.
On the right side in the red, Bad Benny will play Stitches. Nick on the Tracer, a Thorough playing Leoric, Kirsten on Uther, and ADRD will play Tassadar.
Having Medivh again is, I think, a really, really big thing here for the Ducks. It's all about Sport Billy, and he feels so comfortable on Medivh. He has such a huge impact, and he's going to try and showcase that again. Nick, on the other hand, is just fantastic when it comes to his Tracer play, and that's something that they have to show in this game, or the Ducks are going to walk away with a 2-0 lead, which would definitely be a bit of a concern here for Team Expert.
That it would be. For now, it's about setting up, getting Tracer built up for her Pulse Bombs. Make sure to move in on the fights. Pew, pew, pew away as often as possible. She even is wanting to build into those Pulse Bombs as much as possible by that level and talent being picked up.
Pew Pew is one of the best sprays in the game, by the way.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah, just want to put that out here real quickly. The animated sprays are fantastic, but Pew Pew is really good.
I like the cheese one. The animated cheese one.
Yeah, the cheese one isn't too bad either, but Pew Pew, I feel that's really where it's at, especially if you're an auto attacker. But talking about attacking, already Johanna in the mid lane getting not really quite ganked, not too much pressure yet, but they are still trying to be aggressive. Expert is definitely moving out with a bit more aggression than they showed in the first one. And it showcases that Medivh is dead. So, yep, the old guy with the code, down.
You have so many subtitles for the heroes lately. The old guy is Uther. The guy with the coat is Medivh.
No, old guy with a beard.
Old guy with the beard. That's it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The old guy with the coat is Medivh.
Yeah, he's the code guy. I mean, I can say more stuff, but I think our PG rating doesn't really allow for that.
Family-friendly stream, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Caldor.
I mean, he has a trench coat, okay? I'm not going to say more here, but, like, it's a bit creepy.
Mercenary camps are being grabbed, and Nande's going to creep up and drop down the blinding light right away on Team Expert and see that they are doing that. They turn their attention over to their own campers as well, with Sport Billy controlling.
Wouldn't you be suspicious of a guy that turns into a raven and flies around?
No, I wouldn't, because it's a magical game. Magical things happen.
What do you
I would in real life. If you flew in randomly and you're wearing a trench coat, like, first off, Caldor, why are you flying? Second off, that look is not for you. It hides your biceps.
That's why the look wouldn't fit me.
Exactly.
That's the reason. Okay, thank you, Tim.
Altars being grabbed. Only one left here. 1-for-1 for both of our teams. And Nick is doing his best here to harass on the side with ADRD coming in as well. And Leo's in the top lane all by his lonesome, pushing it in.
Yeah, doing his thing here. So this is definitely a timer on the side of the Ducks. They have to do something. And actually, Sonya is now starting to move to the top. The Ducks realizing, boys, we're losing some experience here. Help, please. And yeah, Kirsten is now getting a free channel because the Ducks are realizing, yeah, this is not really working out. So maybe just wait a bit and we deal with the rest later, but give them this altar at least because we can't simply afford to lose that much experience.
Good play there by Team Expert, using the poke that they have there with Tassadar, being able to slow down their opponent and force their opponent to come respawn, which gives them the altar over, so they take a lead 36-32. The Playing Ducks will be hooked here as Wolf Joe gets connected, but he's going to turn around and go for Kirsten. That hook actually hurts him.
I was about to say, did Bad Benny just kill Kirsten?
He did.
Gets the dog in, and Wolf just says, well, thank you very much, sir. bites Uther, gets a quick totem in, and then the last few damage points are delivered by the rest of the team. So yeah, job well done. We have the first, or we have one kill, first kill for the Playing Ducks now taken. At the top, that's bad. Missing the drain is never good when you're Leoric. That's usually the moment we're sitting there like, uh-oh, yeah. I have a problem.
You turn around. Before you're able to do anything, you want to usually get that drain hope before you make the decision on what your next play is against your opponent. Usually if you miss it, that means you're leaving the fight. Sappers get picked up by Team Expert on the right side. The 4-mans continue to control. And things are about to get a little bit hairy for Playing Ducks. As you mentioned, the build that would be coming in from Leoric has hit here. Level 4 focus and a lingering aberration.
Yeah. So for now we have also the arrow build, of course, continuing with the repeating arrow, so you get the double stacks in. Master's Touch has started. So a lot of the quest talents are now in play on the side of the Ducks. And still, Nick is zipping around here. And this is the one thing where it might become a bit troublesome for the Ducks later, that their lockdown potential against Nick is limited. It's mostly centered around Johanna with the Blessed Shield, and if Vala can follow up with a potential Rain of Vengeance, if it's going to be their choice. Which I actually doubt at this point a little bit, considering that there's no Illidan, and it's much more likely that we're going to see them head straight into Strafe again. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to try and deal with Tracer here. The lockdown potential just isn't all that great.
We're going to watch for it here. As the altars be traded 1-for-1, both top left and top right. It's all about that race towards the level 10 for both of our teams. I think I am a little bit on the same fence with you here when it comes to strafe. Just pick that up. Even if someone gets hooked on your team, popping the strafe and charging right in can be enough to stop them from going full all in on that target. Not a bad pickup here for the Playing Ducks. They move into it. Hook comes out, will hit Nande, but he'll easily walk away with the condemn.
Yeah, Nande doesn't really care about the hook in the disposition here too much, so he's just sitting there saying like, yeah, I always have my Iron Skin, so that's totally fine. But we have, I mean, you have one kill on each side, but it's not really the most aggressive game early on. They're all just trying to get rotations in and make sure that they soak the wave, drop a spray or two every now and then. The spray game has to be on point.
And it is. As he continues to even step on his own spray, it will dissipate for the moment. Medivh scouting out their opponents. Team Expert is on the right side working on Zappers, but they may make a play here to move in on the left side or into the middle and get a kill. Nick is putting damage to Sport Billy, but with Nande being in the way, 1 to tank the pulse bomb and 2 to keep her from showing in the fight, they'll be just fine.
I mean, it works out quite well for them now, for the Ducks in particular, since yes, Expert is going to hit the 10 faster, but we will see level 10 for the Playing Ducks by the time that the altars are becoming an issue on the map. So yeah, that shouldn't really be a big deal. I would still expect a Divine Shield coming out of Uther here. I mean, yes, you can of course go into the added stun, but who are you going to lock down? Are you that afraid of Sonya moving in? They go for the Storm. They go into the stun here. Strafe, by the way, picked up by Vala, as we expected.
You get Hook blow up, hook somebody in, stun into Divine Storm. You want to do it around the Force of Will cooldown. You have to watch out for that.
Yeah. So, Altar again, single altar this time at the bottom of the map. And we have a pretty decent situation right now for both the teams with Leoric still at the top, so it's going to be about the experience for now. We still have that slight lead for Expert, and at some point that might become a problem. For this Altar, it isn't. We have level 10 abilities on both sides, but this is one that the Ducks will definitely try and fight over, since they are currently down in points on the core already. Medivh is making his way in now. Eternal moving into the back, drops the Wrath of the Berserker, misses the spear and is trying to push forward, creating some space for Wolfcho so that he can get the channel through, but immediately Tacit are reacting with a quick storm.
Still, they control the choke pretty well. Sport Billy will get hit with the big engage. They actually get the Pulse Bomb into the Divine Storm and will kill him. Wolfjo is able to grab the altar, but they answer back and get a kill on Stitches as well.
A really nice Blessed Shield at the turnaround here. So they go in, Blessed Shield is hit, and that drops Stitches then eventually. Didn't even have time enough to drop his Putrid Vial. And that was a pretty successful fight here for the Playing Ducks. Reason being, of course, that Leoric is just being Resident Sleeper AFK on the lane and trying to get experience for his team, which works quite well, but it means that they lose out on the altar shots, and they also lose out, or they don't win the actual fight.
They do, however, get Medivh reset on his Master's Touch stack, so that is a positive here for Team Expert, slowing down his progression. Nick comes in and applies some pressure to Chris. Will be able to use the recall to get out of the fight as well. And now they need to control the Sappers. So Team Expert is starting to get in a spot where that top lane is starting to become a bit of a nuisance here, as Sonya is defending underneath the fort.
This is, of course, one of the main reasons why you draft Leoric in the situation. You want to make sure that with Royal Focus and Lingering Apparition combo, you soak 2 lanes. That empowers the rest of your team to mainly roam as 4 and then put pressure onto the opponent's solo lanes. So that's really, really good. And if you can delay any kind of altar and objective fight in general, then Leoric in the meantime is going to give you an experience lead. So Expert is with this setup absolutely willing to say, hey, we give up on an objective or 2 as long as we gain an experience lead that we can translate into a big advantage later on in the game.
So they do have a smile advantage with that talent right now, or that experience, as it's only about a half a level, almost actually a full level, as the Playing Ducks are working on their own 13, but they have to make sure that when they do go for this type of strategy, they don't lose out in fights. If they lose a member or 2, Playing Ducks can mitigate it, and of course get back on the experience train. Sport Billy and Nande fighting here on the bottom side with 2 ultras spawning. Team Expert sets up pretty well. Now what will the Ducks do? Will they bring down their Sonya player and try to force this, or will they try to go for a 1-for-1 trade?
Well, at this point, Sonya can just mirror this at the top. They don't want to lose in the bell tower, so 4-4 down at the bot lane is not going to be a big deal for them. And I think Sonya is going to stay up at the top for sure. Blast Shield is out. That's the lockdown. Here comes the immediate Medieval going for the ley line. Chris is already Ancestral, and they're putting the pressure onto ADRD, but the hook connects, and he connects well. Wolfjo goes down. Leoric, on the other hand, has lost the one-on-one up at the top lane and has died, but Medivh's portal here at the bottom was a bit too late to save Rhaegar. That's, of course, now a big issue, as both of the altars could go over to the Playing Ducks.
Well, the first one being grabbed in the bottom. Team Expert will grab that one. Tassadar. Stitches is working on the altar in the middle. He will be delayed by Medivh, so Sport Billy is buying time. Rhaegar will be up in 10 seconds, but Playing Ducks have made the decision. Go ahead and give up on it now. 2 shots from the altars will go over, giving Team Expert the lead, 28-20, while the Playing Ducks will leave a Thurno on the top lane, and he is just chunking down a Thurno.
Eternal, you monster! That was awesome. Leo is down, and then basically it's just a scout at the start where Thero takes a quick look, and I mean, Sonya sees an opportunity, and Eternal just drops him right away. He comes back, eats the spear, and then it's just all about Sonya hammering him into the ground, and that's second kill. Ixero at this point is probably really annoyed.
Those 2 kills from a Thurno, as well as the Merc camp, actually ties up the experience slightly here.
Yeah.
That was actually a big move for the Playing Ducks.
It was a massive move. You get the camps in, you tie the experience up, and you start to dominate the lane completely. It was extremely well done by them. I have to point one thing out, by the way, now that we're talking about Leoric. There is, if you go for this build, there's actually one talent where you see sometimes something different taken. Burning Rage on level 13, not taken here. But instead it's the cooldown reduction, the extra damage if you get the Crushing Hope. Extra damage if you get the entire duration of the Drain Hope through, which oftentimes is used in combo with Entomb. So in this case, they're going for more team fight potential for Leoric. So he has a little bit more value during team fights later on, but he misses out on a bit of wave clear. If you have a Leoric that for the entire game is supposed to only wave clear or maybe play Infernal Shrines, then most Leoric players will actually head into Burning Rage on 13. So this has a little bit more team fight value for the later stages.
We'll see if that pays off here, as the next altar will be spawning. There is a total of 3 here. Team Expert and the Playing Ducks will fight over them, but Team Playing Ducks right now is actually taking a bit of a beating here on the side. With the portal, they're able to get out, but Nick is looking for Chris. They find it, going to be able to get a portal and Ancestral healing out, so the Playing Ducks are burning some cooldowns, but they keep their teammate alive.
That was, Blessed Shield comes in again, but they don't have enough damage for the follow-up yet. That was still well done, the save on Vala. The Ancestor wasn't even needed, but they didn't know that at the time. They played it safe. Curse, on the other hand, is low as Eternal comes in. He's just a killer. That guy, whenever he appears, there's another dead hero on the side of Team Expert.
But this does leave the Orc in the top lane who's working on an altar, and Chris will get picked off, which does mean that this altar on the bottom, if they can't kill Tracer right away, will go over to Team Expert, and Nick is chasing with Tassadar shields, a Thurno low, Wolfjo, Nande as well. Pulse Bomb comes out, Wolfjo's picked up.
And there's another hook, and Eternal is also down. The hooks from that Benny are so spot on. Got a great hook in again to commit. Another kill. Vala fell, and now we have Aethero trying to go for Sport Billy. Sport Billy barely surviving for now. making sure that he gets a few more stacks in. He's on 20 stacks on his Master's Touch. He really needs to be careful. If anyone else moves in, then they are in trouble. But to be honest, Ducks are already in trouble because they are down to 8 points on the core as 4 more shots are being committed here. Johanna now also dead and the bell tower taken. Team Expert has gained so much momentum in this.
That was a big swing into the favor of Team Expert. You mentioned it, 28-8 right now in terms of core shots. They have the map controlled. The bell tower in the bottom left has been grabbed, but Leork's already working on the top one that he's weakened earlier. Don't think he'll fully get it quite yet, but that is still a thorn in the side here of the Ducks. They'll have to be aware of it as Eternal moves in and tries to get another kill.
Yeah, Eternal immediately pushing Leoric back and saves the bell tower for now, but you're right. It's so low that it's very likely that Expert will eventually get it. And at this point, 7 kills against 5 doesn't really sound like too much. But Team Expert has taken a 1.5 level lead. They're on level 19 versus level 17, and they are dominating this. So at the top lane, looks like we're at least for now seeing another camp taken. Eternal is definitely pressuring Ethereal a lot. Sonya is fantastic on these solo lanes, but that doesn't really help them because everywhere else on the map they are getting just pushed back even harder. And Bad Benny is always such a big threat with this hook.
Ducks doing their best to defend here on the bottom side, being chunked down by the Tracer. Need to be careful here and always watch out for the hook that could come in from Bad Benny, as you were mentioning. Chris, low on health, should be able to get healed up by Wolf Joe. Decides to go ahead and back up and heal at home. Their main objective was to clear out the sappers, and they do that. But again, they're stuck in the kill zone on their side of the map.
Yeah, this is just a snowballed so much in the last few fights, and it's just a massive problem that every single time they have a good engagement, the hook is ruining their day. Here on the other hand, comes again, Sport Billy is down, but so is Tracer. So Medivh is annihilated, but Tracer is down too, so that could be the saving grace here for them. He didn't have the shield ready, and the Ancestral was a bit too late. Ancestral now hitting Eternal, putting him back into play, and they're trying to get a kill against Bad Benny. Good spear hit by Sonya, but no kill just yet, and Nanda is extremely low as the Thero comes in, and what a stun from Uther. Johanna down, Rhaegar dead, and Sonya, the last survivor, wants to at least get a counter kill and does, but it's unlikely that Eternal is going to survive that slaughter. He falls, and that's a team wipe. 20 talents are in play, and this looks fantastic for the for Team Expert.
Team Expert will grab the sappers here on the right as well, get those pushing in. They can grab all 6 of them and look for a win here if they can get them in. Boss is also another option too. Can get the sappers pushing on the bottom.
Leyline, they might be a little bit afraid of Leyline, but if they play it right and just spread, they should have no issue here.
Okay, when they move in, Leyline is up 15 seconds. So at least they stressed out their opponents. They put the three sappers on the bottom, which makes Medivh go down and clear it up. The boss is being grabbed, and this actually looks checkmate.
Yeah, pretty much. If Medivh doesn't react to the bot lane, the 3 are being escorted. He can't really move to the top. They will spread out to make sure that they see Medivh on the map, so they don't even have to, but they would have just spread, and this, of course, is going to be game. The shots are being fired, and this is the end as Team Expert is able to tie the series. They win game number 2, so it's a 1-1 in the best of 5.
Team Expert finding a way to beat the exact same draft we saw in game number 1 from the playing Ducks, and it really comes down to that 3 altar phase moment where we had 3 to 4 members get picked off for the playing Ducks as Team Expert just found the engages. Also to note, Medivh never really got that Master's Touch finished off either. Even the second full-on engage that happened, it only got up to 25 stacks if I remember correctly. So things not going too well there for the playing Ducks, and they find a way to shut down the Medivh.
It was well played, and the hooks, in my opinion, again, against Vala, several times where Benny was able to hit 2-3 hooks against her single fight. The team did actually a really good job trying to keep her alive. Immediately there was a portal, there was a shield, Ancestrals came through, but then a second hook connects against Vala again, and that just was a massive issue and a big problem for them. So Bad Benny having a huge impact on this, but also, again, we've been highlighting him before the series. Nick on Tracer just doing so much work here and delivering kill after kill.
Well, we're all tied up here 1-1, and it's time to get ready for game number 3 to see who will take a lead in this best of 5.